Test 1, topic 3. Now see, the topic is easy. समझ में आ रहा है. Time and patience. Now, there are two ways. You can take up these two together. इसको बिना अलग-अलग किए हुए. The time and patience as one phrase. Because essentially, in some ways, they mean quite a bit of similar things. If you have time, you have patience. You have patience का मतलब है आपके पास time management के skills हैं. You can take it together. You keep it together as one phrase. Or you can divide separately also. Because not always those who have time are not always patient. So I might give a lot of time, but with a lot of impatience. So आप दोनों कर सकते हो. My suggestion is, in the same essay, you can try both. You can write time and patience together towards the end, and the initial part mein, you can separate these two also. That's one. So my discussion number 1 is, I said, you can treat time and patience together as a phrase, as a single phrase, or and time separately and patience separately. ये भी कर सकते हैं. And I would say आप दोनों use कर सकते if you want. Initially separate them and to conclusions put them together. That's one. Now the mistake that has happened is in your essays attempted. Think of the example of a mother. One is mother is very important. Why is mother important? Because mother cares, mother nurtures, mother is forgiving, mother is love, mother is compassion, mother is sacrificing. Is one way of discussing why is mother very important. Your mother takes care, mother grows, mother symbols of life, and you can go on there. Second is, if I say mother is the best warrior. When I say best warrior ka matlab kya hai? It is not simply mother who is good. Warrior is a mother who fights for you, a mother who helps you win, mother who probably avenges the wrong. आपने movie देखा है ना, श्रीदेवी वाला Mom. I don't know if you have seen that or not. She avenges her daughter's abuse. She goes after the killer and the rapist and kills him finally. So that's a warrior mother. The movie called Mom, Sridevi, it got a lot of awards also. Now ये दोनों mother same नहीं है. This is our think of that warrior mother image जो है in the Bahubali movies. She's not एक तो mother है who brings up Bahubali, who was a foster mother, lot of love, care, nurturing, बड़ा किया. And the other is that lady, right, who fights back, okay, for her rights. So ये दोनों image same नहीं है. Now what many of you have done is you wrote about importance of time and patience. Time is important, and time heals. Time comforts, time soothes, time heals the wounds. वो लिख दिया आप लोगों ने. Patience gives us calmness. Patience learns us how to forgive. वो सब लिख दिया आपने. Topic is not importance of time and patience. The topic is talk how time and patience are our warriors. Warriors का मतलब है helping you win something, helping you fight something. तो आपका tone भी change हो जाएगा. It's not that कि if you write this year गलत हो जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं है. But somewhere you have missed a very key word. The very important keyword is this one. Because when I imagine warrior, I'm looking at what? Weapons. A warrior, a shield, a warrior, very sharp skills, a warrior who is agile, a warrior. Somewhere एक anger वाला element भी है. Warrior is out to win, victory वाला. It's not simply peace of mind. It's not simply calmness. It's not simply forgiving. I hope you got the point here. So अगर आप लिखते time and patience as important, not wrong, ठीक है, but you're missing the very essence of the word called as warriors. So when I am alluding to a warrior, what are the things I must talk about? The time and patience, they help us win. Time and patience help us vanquish our enemies. Time and patience teach us skills, and they help us fight back. Time and patience develops capabilities, which sometimes are lethal capabilities. Lethal not in murder type lethal nahi hai. In terms of, when I say lethal, I mean they are very effective. Capabilities which are very result oriented. So ye essence in most essays nahi aa raha tha. I hope you got the point here. So somewhere most of you wrote about, so when I say time and patience as important, so time helps us forget, time helps us forgive, time helps us heal our wounds, time helps us build relations, time helps us repair our emotions, time and patience help us deal with defeat, ये essence आ जा रहा है. So this discussion is more like coming to terms. It's more like accept. अगर defeat भी हो गया, कोई बात नहीं. Like it teaches you acceptance. So the tenor of the essay is changing now. So this on this side, it's about acceptance. कि ठीक है, हार गए तो हार गए. Now be at peace. हार गए तो हार गए, no problem. Now accept it and be calm. This one says, you know, हार गए तो not good enough. I must fight back and win. I must develop skills so that I now have the victory. My enemy has to get defeated. So accordingly, your essays का जो language है, वो change हो जाएगा. This was the common mistake that I found in your essays. By the way, for all these essays, we are giving you model answers, model essays. Some I think have been given or हो जाएगा. If नहीं हुआ है, तो आज कल में we'll give you model essays on it. Did you all get the tone of the essay ki nahi? This is what I mean. Ki write the essay according to the demand of the topic. Demand में आपको keywords को पकड़ना होगा. कि why is it not simply importance and why I'm talking about the word called as warriors. This is one issue. The second issue that I found was कि आप लोग examples दे रहे हैं. You're giving examples, but examples are not organized in terms of themes. जैसे कि time is important. For example, it has taken us some time, and after reforms of 30-40 years, now India is emerging as the world top 3 economies. Time is important. There are times when batsman loses his form, and if he's patient, he regains his form. Example is Sachin Tendulkar. Like ये typical examples आपने use किया है आपने. Time is important. It took us a lot of time, but after a struggle of almost 200 years against the British, starting from late 1800s, also 100 years, we won our independence. तो आपने क्या किया है ना? Example of time as important. आपने examples दे दिया आपने. But the themes होने चाहिए थी. Theme should now say what I wanted was the examples must illustrate some reason. Time is a warrior because number one, time teaches us skills. Time helps us develop skills to fill our gaps and then fight back and win. So what does time and patience do? It allows us to develop our skills and then win. इसके example बताएंगे how Tendulkar practiced for hours together, practiced for days together, and with patience. And finally, he was able to defeat Shane Warne in the test match that we had in Australia. So, आपका एक example है that one reason is that time helps us develop skills. So, आप example मुझे skills पे दो. Examples where time taught us skills to fight back. Time helps us introspect and not commit the same blunders. And that helps us win. Example maybe in our freedom struggle, ये जो concept of struggle truce वाला जो concept था, वही तो करते थे हम लोग. That when you have struggling, you may making mistakes, you go in a truce, you develop the gaps, and then you fight back. So give example based on these themes. What does time and patience do? Time and patience helps us build our teams. Time helps us regroup. Patience helps us a regroup. Example of this is, think of how Apple, once Steve Jobs was out, he again comes back. He builds a formidable core team, and that fights up and makes Apple the best company. So, हम the examples होगा ना? I want example to illustrate certain important advantage that time and patience gives you. ठीक है? Otherwise, क्या है? आप बस example of time patience दे रहे हो without telling us what are you illustrating. They become generic examples. We do not want. So my point is no generic examples. So examples should be based on a theme. As I said, theme is it helps us develop skills. Theme is it helps us introspect. Theme is it helps us build teams. Okay, and fight back formidably. So ऐसे अगर आपको reasons चाहिए, what does time and patience do? Time and patience helps us understand our enemies better. So we kind of analyze our opponents. Time and patience is like buying an opportunity to understand our opponents better. Now, this is something that China did. China kept quiet for almost 30 years of its reforms. 1978 में China started its reforms, economic reforms. Till about 2000, it did not do much. It understood the weaknesses of the US system, of the European system. It understood the weaknesses of the domestic industries. And when it fights back now, it's much more stronger today. So, now this is the analytical component. हम बोलते हैं ना बार-बार, आपका essay must be analytical. How do you make it analytical? By expanding on what are the reasons. So, time patience important because it teaches a skill. Time patience important because it helps us introspect, know our own flaws. Time and patience important, it helps us build team. Time important why? Because it helps us understand our opponents. इसका example आप उठा सकते हो UPSC preparation also. Sometimes आप फंस जाते हैं cycles में, right? Prelims, mains, prelims, mains, prelims, mains. It never happens. Some of us, what we do is we take a break. या एक साल break ले लेते हैं. And prepare well, know our weakness, understand the examination, and then come and crack it. So आपको examples देने होंगे based on what are you analyzing, and not generic ones that if you are patient, you will win. Because example 1. If patient, you will win. Example number 2. These were the two, I'll say, gaps in most essays. Okay, one was you did not appreciate the word called warriors. And the second is you did not appreciate the concept called as thematic examples. So this is second feedback from me. The third feedback, देखो, I said no, take up. Now see, this is an element of practice. मैंने कहा था ना आपको कि आप canvas के according जाइए wherever possible. Of course, not all of you are part of the class discussions, so I will not bring up the canvas right now because some of you are here only for the tests. If I discuss my technique, you are trapped. So I'm not discussing on those lines. But even then, one important aspect of a good essay is try to write with examples from the contemporary times. कि आज के contemporary times में pick up any one issue and discuss in thorough. And I think a very good topic for discussion for this could have been discussing the successes and failures of the startups. एक motto रहा है of all startup. Okay, scale fast. Agility is strength. Becoming slow is a weakness. एक general narrative रहा है. And we have seen how a lot of companies collapsing. I thought, I was expecting that many of you would write on startups. So my point is, ठीक है, startup नहीं किया, whatever. But essentially, you need to have some examples from our contemporary times. So startups के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. And let this theme occupy maybe 1 page of your essay. Let the theme occupy 1.5 page of the essay. Okay, in case, now देखो, pandemic वाले में time patience will be a wrong example. Because a pandemic, actually, we had to be very, very fast. I mean, there's a wisdom, हर जगह apply कर सकते हो. So I cannot say time and patience when there is a disaster happening. Okay, the time and patience is part of your pre-disaster readiness. तो वहां पर आप ला सकते थे the whole philosophy of disaster management. जो हम कहते हैं ना, the pre-disaster interventions. Mitigation हो गया, prevention हो गया. We talk about readiness, okay, disaster preparedness. This could have become a very good theme. So I was hoping some of you should have taken up some of these issues. Time and patience, probably long-term environmental problems के लिए. Time and patience, like say one of the very frustrating aspects of our administration and laws has been agriculture reforms. वो हो नहीं रहा है. We're trying, not succeeding. Some efforts are insincere. So agriculture reforms को उठा सकते थे as a theme and discuss how time and patience and consistent work, okay, can help us. So ऐसा आपका major theme based, I think just 2 or 3 have done this. और आपके मैंने canvas में बताया था कि take up one important issue and discuss the topic around that, okay, in detail. That has not happened. What was that? Time and patience is slow and steady. Time patience is definitely slow and steady. So I think यही 3 issues थे. One is you are missing out the word called warrior. You missed out the idea called specific examples to some themes. And third is discussing it around some contemporary issue. Again, those who have been part of class, I again requested all of you, try to make your essay interesting by giving examples from songs, from movies, from plays, from stories. Give examples from paintings if you can. Not many of you have done that. And reason being, शायद आपने practice नहीं किया है on those lines. So if you can do that, okay, I said, enrich your essay by referring to books, by referring to some artists, by referring to some movie names and discussing it. Now, I remember एक movie था, it's an Oscar movie, brilliant one. Life is Beautiful. I don't know if you have seen that or not, and I will suggest you see it, please. Life is Beautiful. It won a deluge of Oscars. A story of an Italian person. He is living in the times of the world wars. So the Jew persecution shuru hota hai. And this man with his wife, with his wife and his children and his one son, they're arrested by the Nazis. And finally, it's living alone but fighting very patiently. The man had faith in himself, faith in goodness. Okay, end mein he dies, but he was able to save his wife and children. Beautiful story. Ya fir Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. Beautiful book. ऐसे अगर एक दो movies या book आप पढ़ लेते हैं या फिर जान लेते हैं, they are references for many essays. This again is a story about how a man who is almost, he is given up. He would have died. Okay, but his positive thinking and patience helps him live and lives with sanity. His, talk to himself. He says, when I come out of the Nazi camp, I'll meet my wife and I'll have a normal life. That positivism jo aata hai, because of he was patient with the process. He didn't give up. Okay, despite beautiful book. So essay books ke references bahut important. It enriches your essay. So my suggestion to you, if you can, if not see it, at least read about these books on the Wikipedia. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, and this Oscar winning movie, Life is Beautiful. Italian director, Robert Benigni. Correct. ठीक है?